Hey guys, Corey from the Gorilla Pit Training, Nutrition and Lifestyle here, and welcome to today's episode of the Daily Pit. What we're going to cover today, guys, is the abs and core. Basically, are they the same thing? What's the difference? The structural integrity of both of them, the breakdown, and what they're important for, and is it attainable to have one over the other? So guys, when it comes down to the abs and the core, we get a lot of questions. You know, guys come in and say, oh, I want to improve my core strength, I want to get a six-pack, I want to work on my midsection. Now, all of these can have some sort of crossover effect, but there are some major differences, guys, and that's what we're going to cover today. Basically, the difference between the core and the abs, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this water bottle to basically describe perfectly how it all relates to each other. Now, when we think of the core, guys, what we want to think of is it's a combination of muscles deep in the midsection that combine together to create an inner unit, all right? Now, what these muscles are, if we start from the bottom up, we have our pelvic floor, all right? Wrapping around on the inside and outside, we've got our internal and external obliques, okay? We have our transverse abdominis at the front, multifidus among other muscles at the back, and then our diaphragm at the top. All right, so that's our inner core unit. What it's designed to do, guys, is create intra-abdominal pressure. So if all of those muscles are working correctly, I squeeze that bottle and there's a bit of tension in there. Now, what this allows us to do is maintain our posture, protect our organs and everything like that, but more importantly, when we're training, all right, if we have an effective core, it allows us to load up that inner unit so we can work the other muscles, all right? So if we were to put a bar on the back of that, if I put pressure down on it, it's very hard to sort of to crush that bottle, so everything's protected there, all right? Now, when we have a weak core or something is not firing, for example, let's say the diaphragm isn't working, so if I take away the diaphragm, now what happens is it's near impossible to create intra-abdominal pressure. If I put pressure on that, it folds, all right? Everything starts to fold, and that's where, you know, it's generally not the diaphragm, it might be weak abdominals, might be a problem through the multifidus, and we're going to load through somewhere else, and we're not going to create that intra-abdominal pressure to be able to do our big lifts. So that's the core, guys. That's the importance of the core, to create that intra-abdominal pressure so we can move, keep everything upright and have mobility, so we can load muscles and get the best out of our body. That's why we need everything working the way it should be. So ways to I guess, work the core. We're looking at lifting, obviously, making sure we can lift through those range. We're looking at the bracing, all right, creating that intra-abdominal pressure. And then we're looking at things like rotation, all right? They're going to get the best out of that core movement, engaging all the muscles in the inner unit. Now, the abs. Come to the abs. Everybody wants abs. Now, they look pretty, but realistically, they don't do much. Okay, now look at the water bottle again. If you think of the bottle as the inner unit, the abs is a label. All right, the label of this bottle are your abs. Yeah, it looks pretty, it's a bit of a showy sort of thing, but at the end of the day, they add no value to the bottle. I can take that label off and the bottle is still a bottle. It's going to do what it wants to do. And that's exactly the same with our abs, guys. They look pretty, but realistically, they don't do much in the grand scheme of things. All the main movement that they're used for is that crunching sort of motion. And we don't use that realistically every day. It's not as important as bracing, rotation, and you know, staying upright. So at the end of the day, guys, it's very important to start to train your core, to create your bottle, because we can have a bottle without a label, but there is no point in having a label without a bottle. It's rendered useless. So what we want to do, guys, is create our bottle first, look at our big prime mover muscles, things like our squats, things like our deadlifts, our chins, that are going to engage our core so we can create an effective bottle. That way we're going to start to be able to burn more energy as well from these bigger lifts, and then what that's going to do is going to help us create our label. All right, so at the end of the day, guys, let's start to incorporate these bigger lifts, improve our core before we start to worry about our abs. All right, so hopefully, guys, that's a point of interest. Hopefully you understand now the difference between the abs and the core, the importance of the core versus the abs. Yeah, the abs look pretty, but they're going to come after the bottle's created. So guys, if that was informative and you like that one, give us a like, give us a share. As always, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. If you want us to cover anything, please contact us, guys. We're starting to get a couple come through now, so we'll get those answered as quick as we can. Otherwise, until next time, guys, keep crushing it and enjoy.